everybody, it's Sam here, and I have another mix and match tutorial to share with you all. So I've made this card using the 6x6 shutter die set and my new Halloween sets. So there's currently a bundle offer. So if you buy I think it's the die set and the 2 Stampin' die sets as a bundle, so 3 of them together, you'll get the sentiment set for free, and it's while stocks last. So as I'm doing this voiceover, there is still stock available, and hopefully that will last over the weekend because I'm posting this on the Friday. So there is a nice deal there that you can get with this, but the shutter set, as I shown and as I launched it, will go with anything that you have in your stash. You can use it for any theme. So you would have just seen me then cutting all of the dies out that I need. I'm going to use white card as the base, and then I'm going to use a silver card as the layer, and then white again as the matte layer, but I'm going to be doing an inky background, which you'll see in a moment. So I'm just putting this all together. There is also a 5x7 version, that one's sold out, but if you've got the 5x7 version, then you can do this on that size as well. So I'm just sticking the sides on there, and then you'll cut another piece of the large square and you'll pop that on the back to sandwich those tabs together, and that will be your space to write your message. So you'll see I've got the silver layers, and then I've cut the white using the dies, and I've also cut the shutter pieces there, which have those points. Whenever there's score lines, I always like to go back over them, so I'm just using my scoreboard there just to go over those lines. It just makes it a little bit easier to fold. So I'm going to be using the Twisted Citron, I'm just looking at my pile of inks here, Cracked Pistachio, Lucky Clover and Black Soot to create this. It was like looking inside the witch's cauldron, like her potion that she's making, a really spooky moon, whatever you want. I just love using the Distress Oxide inks to create these backgrounds. You'll see another nice background on a Halloween card on my Mixed Up Craft channel, which is a little slider card with Dracula, and that's got a nice combo of colours as well. I always recommend make sure that your pads are nice and juicy. So if you've refilled them, that's brilliant, or if they're brand new. And that way you get really nice blends and you get more of a blur, and it just creates a lovely effect. Then I'm adding some water droplets. The oxide inks react to water and create really nice effects. So just add your droplets there, let them sit for a few seconds, then using some paper towel, lay that over the top just to pick up all that excess water. And then when you take the paper towel away, you'll be left with a lighter area, like a bleached effect, and it just creates this really lovely effect. It almost looks like a galaxy as well. This kind of technique's great for space, kind of backgrounds and themes and stuff. Then I'm using the silhouette stamps there just to stamp a nice silhouette of the trees, spider's web and the bats. And then we're going to add that middle section into my stamping platform, and I want to continue the trees just along the bottom, but I want the whole scene joined together. So I'm just laying those trees so they overlap into that middle section there, and then get those inked up. It was just nice to have that scene continue right across the card. Then I'm stamping the witch that comes in one of the sets, and just using some colours that will match with the card, so the green face, and then I'm bringing in a little bit of orange just to add a slight contrast because the orange and the green goes really nice together. If you want to watch this all in real time, as always, I will share the craft along in the description box below, so you can head over to Facebook and watch that. So I'm just sticking that last piece onto the silver background there, and then in the set you get all these different square dies. I'm using the 3rd smallest square to cut the actual aperture. Then this is just some silicone foam tape, any foam will do, but it's just handy with the shutter cards just to lift that middle panel up slightly so that the shutter panels can slide nicely underneath and they won't catch on anything. So just popping that all into place, and then I'm just going to stick that square inside. I just thought it was easy to stamp my sentiment onto that yellow. And then I'm colouring those shutter pieces exactly the same as the background, so everything matches together. They could just be plain black or maybe silver in the mirrored card. It's entirely up to you. There's loads of shutter cards on Pinterest. If you just type that in, you'll get heaps of inspiration. Again, just doing the same technique there with the water and just blotting that off, and then I'm stamping the boo. You could do this before or after, it's entirely up to you, but just make sure if you've got any black there, like I'm just showing, wipe that away because it's more than likely going to transfer onto your card, especially if you've lifted it with foam like I have. But just transfer that over, and we've got boo that's going to appear when you open the card. So I'm just popping the two together there, overlapping them, and then sliding that underneath. They did catch a little bit on the square, so I'm just using my tweezers there to just lift it over, wiggle it in. Once it's in, it's fine, it won't catch anymore. Pull it open slightly. You want the outer shutter pieces to line up with the folds of the card. Add your glue down each of those little tabs where the fold is, and then you're going to close the card up. Cross your fingers and leave it. Do not feel tempted to open it until you're 100% sure that glue's dry. Once it is, just slightly open it just to see if they're going to lift, and then open one side at a time and just burnish and really secure that glue. That's the best way to do it, is just to make sure you let that glue dry. Then I've just cut the frame there using the next size up of the square dies and the original size, and that just kind of draws the eye into the middle of the card there, and that's how it will be displayed as open. Then I'm using this great stuff, which is this new glow-in-the-dark paint that I have. I've got the paint and the paste, and I'm just going over those water droplets, and it really does work. This is the example of the other card that I was just mentioning about earlier, and I've got some pictures on my Facebook page of the glow-in-the-dark paint working, and that will be shown at the end of this video as well in one of the photos. Then I'm just popping together the belly band. So you get this die that will cut this shape, just cut it twice. I've used all the inks again on that. And then I've got the Best Witches, which is again from the sentiment set. I've just made a little topper there, and I'm wrapping that belly band around, adding a little bit of glue underneath the tab there just to secure it, and then add the topper on top. So I've kept it quite plain because it is displayed open. So I didn't want to spend too much time on the front because it's not really going to be seen that much. Pop the topper on there, and then I just stamped a couple of the bats in both corners there just to add a little bit more interest. But now when you open it, boo, there's your witch flying over the woodland there, off to create havoc and cast her spells. I love this card. I love all the Halloween cards that I've been making recently with this set. I just think it's so easy to put it all together. But like I say, with all of my kind of mechanism sets, they'll work with anything that you have in your stash. So like I said at the beginning, if you would like to get your hands on any of this product, just check the links in the description box below. Check out the other tutorials popping up now using the shutter card dies, and I'll be back again very soon with more tutorials. Take care. Bye.